So let's now have a look at what might be shaping up next year. The Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas in the new year is one of the best early indicators. So let's try and find out what the buzz is all around this year. From central London, we're joined by Business Insider's technology editor, James Cook. James, good to see you. Some of the big themes I know from CES this last year, back in January 2015, was the automotive section and automotive tech and the driverless car. Are we going to see more, do you think, next month?
Yeah, for sure, because I mean, the technology behind driverless cars is getting cheaper every year. So you're actually getting smaller and smaller companies are now experimenting and coming out with new ideas. I think Bloomberg ran a story this week of this one guy who built a driverless car in his garage. So we're certainly going to see that's going to continue into the coming year, because it's not just Apple and Google that are experimenting with driverless cars.
The other vehicle, I suppose if we call it that, is the drone. As if we haven't heard enough about them during the last few months, there's more to come?
For sure. I mean, you've got Amazon testing these delivery drones, which they want to bring out in 2017. They're going to hopefully deliver parcels straight to your garden. They're actually testing them in Cambridge. They found it difficult to test them in America. But you've also got really cheap drones that you can buy for 50, 60 pounds and kind of hover them around your living room or a field and try them out yourself. So there are lots of really cool things happening with drones. As you're showing on screen, racing drones as well. That's a sport people are doing. Is it the new Formula One? Maybe not, but it's certainly fun to watch.
There's going to have to be a bit of a public education programme, though, isn't it, about some of the dangers about this? I think the police were warning people about you've got to know the rules, so you can't just fly them willy-nilly, can you?
Drones can be really dangerous, let me tell you. If you've got a drone coming towards you and they've got those 4 spinning rotors, they can really hurt. I think it was Enrique Iglesias tried to catch a drone at one of his concerts and cut, I think, all of his finger on it. They can be really painful. So if you do fly a drone, do it in a public place, do it in a wide open place, and make sure it's in your line of sight at all times and don't fly above people.
We were talking to Gary Shapiro, who runs the CES, in our debate show, and he was talking about the wearables and in particular the healthcare sector. We're going to be monitoring our own bodies even more in 2016, don't you think?
That's right. So the Apple Watch, which came out this year, obviously the big blockbuster wearable, a huge part of that was health tracking. So you can track how much sleep you get, what your pulse is. You can do all these different things, and you've got that data on it. And lots of companies are looking at that and saying, well, we can do that for cheaper. So you can buy a 50, 60 pound thing. I think you can even now buy a 15 pounds little bracelet you wear on your watch, and that can track your pulse throughout the day. So it's getting a lot cheaper to do all these kind of things, which means that companies from all over the world are experimenting more with wearable technology.
So the technology is there to measure, James. Are you seeing the applications or the data retention or the useful application of all the data that's been gathered? That's the next phase in this, isn't it?
Right, so what we're seeing now is technology companies partner with universities and doctors and health organizations to say, we've got all this data from our millions of users, do something with it, have a look at it, examine it, and you can actually find some really, really interesting things because it's millions of people giving up their data for free. For medical researchers, that's an absolute gold mine. So in the next few years, hopefully we're going to see the results of all of that technology coming out.
What's Santa bringing you, James?
I don't know, maybe a hoverboard. I quite like that. They're quite dangerous. I'm not very good at them.
You take care when you charge it. All right, James Cook, good to see you. Thank you very much.